Good morning. It's November 25th, 2024. I'm out here in Southern California and I'm about to hit a juicy little PCT section. Let's get it, baby. Cheer, boy. This is mile 210 of the Pacific Crest Trail. I'm heading northbound, hoping to hike about 67 to 68 miles north to Big Bear, California. Never hiked this section before. When I thru hiked in 2016, this section was closed. It's been open for a couple years. And hey, it's really brutal and gross in Washington right now, so why not head for warmer temperatures, get some desert hiking in, you know. Some Coca-Cola and Gatorade, trail magic, I guess, that someone left for the southbounders. Looks good, but considering it's just day one and I'm only like 2 miles in, I'm leaving it. But hope someone enjoys it. So right now I'm walking through Whitewater Preserve down by the water. Just a moment ago I ran into probably 3 or 4 different parties who were just like day hikers hiking around the preserve, a couple of couples who are from Palm Springs and enjoying the beautiful autumn day we have out here in Southern California. But yeah, this section was closed back in 2016, I think either due to excessive flooding on the river, on the Whitewater River, or some sort of fire. I know earlier in this year, 2024, the line fire disrupted the border of this area, but fortunately the Pacific Crest Trail is still open. But in any case, it was a little eroded. I had to backtrack one time. I got a little bit mixed up walking through a wash, but it wasn't so bad. It only cost me a couple minutes and I had to get my feet wet, but it wasn't dangerous or anything. It's a beautiful day so far. I've hiked probably like over a dozen miles and hopefully I can get about 10 more at least in before I have to stop for the night. So cheers, enjoying myself. Okay, here I am hiking along Mission Creek, and just like the trip report said, there's not much trail. It's really just these cairns I gotta follow along the wash. It's that big cairn right there. Giant stack of rocks to follow. Let's see if I can get across this first. Yep. Okay. Okay, that's it for me. I think I'm gonna call it a night. Like 23 miles in, I didn't end up hiking that extra 3. It's just getting kind of dark, and honestly I'm kind of tired, and it's November and I'm not in great shape, and hey, I'm here to enjoy it. It's about the journey, not the destination, right? So even though it's like 5 o'clock, which is way earlier than I would ever dream of stopping. Normally, I'm stopped. Yeah, pitch my tent, I want to enjoy a little dinner, read a little book, and try to catch up on some sleep, because your boy did not get good rest last night. But hey, I'm having fun. Talk to you tomorrow. Just another tequila sunrise. It's day 2. I'm up. It's about 6 a.m. Sun's shining. Hopefully it stays shining and I don't get any rain. Otherwise, I'm hucking it up to Onyx Summit and then to Big Bear. Probably got at least one more night before I make it to my final destination, so I gotta hike fast while sunlight allows. Hoping to get a marathon today, but we'll see. Absolutely wild hiking up here in the high desert around 7,000 feet. I just keep reminding myself at home in Washington, if I was at 7,000 feet, I would have already been in the Alpine for like 1.5, 2,500 feet. Totally crazy how the biomes are so different depending on your latitude. Anyway, appreciating it for now. It's not often I get to get up this high in the Northwest, so I'll enjoy it while I can. California mountain high, baby. That's some good chronic. Okay, went from the low desert to the high desert. Check it out. Bunch of conifers all around me. A little bit less yucca and a little bit less cactus than before. But it's still dry. I think I got my biggest water carries coming up. So it's about 9:45 a.m. and I've only hiked like 7.5 miles. So much for getting my 10 by 10. In fact, 7.5 miles today. I think I had the same amount yesterday at the same time, even though I started an hour later yesterday than I did today. And the reason is I've gained 3,000 feet this morning in 7.5 miles, and there's hardly been a trail. It's like pretty washed out. If you've ever hiked the Continental Divide Trail, or if you've spent time in the Gila River, it's pretty similar to that. It's just a lot of eroded, kind of rock hopping, sandy, emptying out your shoes from all the sand and rocks. Shame on me for not wearing gaiters. That's on me. But yeah, slow going this morning. On top of that, I just hit a water source, and it's my last one for about 17 miles. So 17, kind of a carry, considering I'd have to hike about a marathon to get there. And I had 2 blisters on my break. I feel embarrassed. Only 30 miles and I have 2 blisters. Amateur hour. But anyway, I'm gonna hike 17 miles to the next water source, even if I'm hurt, because frankly, I gotta. So here goes nothing. Why you should never let go of a Mylar balloon, let alone ever buy a Mylar balloon. Exhibit A. Look at that. Balloon among the manzanita. Does it look like it belongs out here? I think not. But now I got it. Happy birthday to me, baby. Balloons below. Remains of a water cache. Empty, empty. But who wants to drink out of bottles of bleach anyway, huh? Gross. So if you're considering coming out and hiking California, Section C of the PCT from I-10 to Big Bear, be forewarned, all the rumors about Mission Creek being very brutal and very difficult are completely true. Absolutely washed out, hardly visible trail. Your mileage will dip considerably, although you will have water. The tread is just non-existent. And yeah, it makes you walk a lot slower. I think I was hiking only like 2 miles an hour through there. So needless to say, yesterday afternoon, after about 2 p.m. and this morning up until maybe like 9, it was very slow going, really damaged my miles per hour. See, now that I've been back on single track with some nice tread, I've been cruising at like 3 miles an hour at least, which is great. That's what you expect the PCT to be, especially when you only have 9 or 10 hours of daylight to walk. You got to make the most of it. So that put me back a little bit. I've been able to make up a lot of time because I'm walking quickly now. But if you decide to hike it, just be careful because you are going to hike a little bit slower than you're expecting. I made the comparison of the Mission Creek section earlier to the Gila on the Continental Divide Trail. So the difference is the Gila is a lot bigger, a lot colder, and you got to cross it more times. It's also significantly longer. I mean, you walk through the Gila for, well, I don't know, at least 80 miles, I think, without checking. Here, this is only like 10 miles of brutality, but that style of, quote, brutality, where you have to do a lot of route finding and the tread is really bad and you can feel completely isolated. If you like that, you will like the Continental Divide Trail because that really is what the CDT is all about. Okay, one more reason before we get back to trail shots that I think this is like the CDT. I haven't seen a human in over 1 day, on trail or otherwise. I've seen some cars and I saw some dogs at a house I walked past, but otherwise, it's been solo dolo, just your boy in the trail. Cheer. All right, balloon number 2, look at this. Still full of air. Oh, just kidding, it's ripped. It is full of shit though. Just another reason, guys, don't buy balloons. Balloons blow. Wow. Okay, what I just showed you was my last water stop of the day at 4:20 p.m. I have about 1 mile to make camp, but there's no water for, well, basically until I make it to Big Bear. So I can make it to a town center if I walk 20 miles tomorrow, give or take, from where I camped tonight. So I loaded up, I cameled up, I have like 4 liters of water with me because I'm gonna use some of that water to cook and, you know, sleeping, you're gonna drink at least half a liter of water if you wanna stay hydrated. So I'm accommodating, taking a whole bunch, over a gallon. It's like almost 10 pounds. But yeah, that was the best water source I've seen in 17 miles since I took a break this morning. But it might not look like much. If you're a desert hiker, that's fabulous, man. Especially in a cool, shady little canyon that's protected from the wind. There's even a tent site back there that looked great. But I'd like to hike 1 more mile, so I have 1 less to hike tomorrow to see the fam. But yeah, water's scarce, and something like that, you know, in an area with a lot of water, like maybe the Appalachian Trail or the Pacific Northwest, not looking so good. But here, creme de la creme, baby. And remember, the cream rises to the top. Ooh, yeah. Okay, day 2 in the books. I hit my marathon, hit my goal, and the sun hasn't even set yet. It's about 4:52 p.m. Let me show you camp. Voila, Chateau de Duplex, my Z-Packs duplex, looking fresh. So basically this area has room for about up to 13 tents, like a lot of flat spots, but there's a strong northeasterly wind coming from the southwest down yonder right through this gap. So I positioned my tent in a way, and you can see others have already built this tent site with logs and stuff like that in anticipation of this. I built my tent in a way where hopefully it can stand against the wind. We are expecting high gusts, up to 45-mile-an-hour winds tonight, as well as potential snow or rain, about 30% chance of precipitation. I have every guy line staked out, and we will see how it goes. Now, straight up MTV crib style, I'm about to make my dehydrated meal, so y'all got to bounce. I'll catch you tomorrow. Okay, good morning. It was kind of a sleepless night. There's a lot of wind flapping up my tent. Otherwise, not that cold, not even that cold right now. As you can see, it's pretty cloudy, so we might have a chance of rain and even allegedly snow showers. But since it hasn't happened at this point, I doubt it's gonna happen at all, which means I'm trekking on the beautiful track on my way down into Big Bear. Time to get after it. Another fun day on trail. Okay, so that back there is the highway that'll take you into Big Bear. Normally PCT hikers are hitchhiking in from here or taking one of the Blue Line offshoot trails and walking right into town. I'm doing the latter. As tempting as it is to hitch a ride, I still got miles to hike, dude, so on we go. Okie dokie, artichoke. So I'm about 15 miles in. It's about 11:30, and this is where I take the cutoff to get into town. So I'm saying goodbye to the Pacific Crest Trail. I'm gonna head down this dirt road, Van Dusen Canyon Road, I think. It's a couple miles. That'll take me into Big Bear, and then it's a couple miles from there to the shopping center where I originally got back on the PCT in 2016. So that'll make my footpath complete for this section. So goodbye, PCT. Goodbye, tree. Beautiful tree. I love you. And I love you all as well. Catch you later. Big Bear Airport, check that out. I think this is the end of Big Bear Lake. the village. Already at 3:30 p.m. I've officially made it to the Airbnb where I will be meeting my family shortly, which wraps up my 70-ish mile section hike, California PCT Section C, from I-10 up to Big Bear. Overall, I give this a 9 out of 10. If you can handle the water carries, it's really fantastic. Weather was pretty solid, and the views were amazing. Honestly, one of the best Pacific Crest Trail sections of all of Southern California, and I'm super disappointed that I didn't get to hike it last time. I highly recommend doing something like I did if you, like me, hiked the trail before and this section was closed, or if, like me, you're a Northwesterner who just wants to get somewhere where it's not rainy in the middle of November. So, awesome. If you've watched it this far, thanks for sticking around. Hit me with subscribe and a like if you appreciate the content and you enjoyed it. Otherwise, take care, folks, and happy trails. Peace out.